This right here is a kit lens, and in my opinion, it completely sucks. And I'm going to quickly show you why. And you're probably wondering straight away, why is this picture so dark? And that's because I haven't changed any of the settings on my camera itself. I've only changed the lens around, and there's a thing called an f-stop value, and kit lenses are generally or notorious for having high values, which essentially doesn't allow as much light to come into your camera as a lower f-stop prime. And so let's change the settings of our camera to adjust and make the same light come in and see essentially how bad it looks compared to this lens right here. Now I've had to quickly adjust a setting in my camera called the ISO value to accommodate for this higher f-stop value that doesn't allow as much light to be let in. So this lens right here, we're going to change back over it. It's called a prime, and then we'll quickly look at what camera and lens setup you can get on a budget if you want to get a good picture, whether you're getting into video making on YouTube or if you're getting into streaming on a budget. So hopefully what we saw with that comparison was how important it is to get the right gear for the right job. Now, if you're a landscaper and you're out in the sun, something like this kit lens is going to do good. I guess it's going to be a good thing. But a lot of us who want to shoot cameras, especially on YouTube, you're either focusing on something like 99% of the times, or the other 1% of the time, you still want bokeh in the shot. So that's where a prime lens, if you learn to shoot on a prime lens, you're going to experience better colors, better bokeh for less money, generally. So with that aside, let's go with some recommendations here. If you want to get some cheap streaming quality, but still get a really good picture quality, similar to what you're getting here, you can go on eBay or other websites, like maybe go on your local sites, whether it's Craigslist or Gumtree or Facebook Marketplace, and you can generally look for something like this, an EOS 650D. This is going to set you back maybe $200. Like if you offer them 200 bucks, you'll probably get one. There's one on Buy It Now for 275 bucks. So these go around $200 to $250 usually. That's what you can get them for. And this will give you the option of then getting either one of two lenses I'd recommend if you're on a budget. And that is the Yongnuo Nifty 50. It's a f1.8, so it's going to give you a very similar picture to what you're seeing here on my camera. Or you can get the 35mm f2 if you want a bit more of a wider picture. So if you're in a very small space, but you still want to get a good picture out, I'd probably recommend going with the 35mm. So basically, for the money, you can get yourself, for maybe 350 bucks, you can get yourself something that's going to give you really good filming quality if you're starting out on a budget. Now, if you're going to be streaming, you're going to want to get a microphone, obviously. So this is a microphone that I'd recommend straight off the bat. For $68, you can get a USB microphone with a 16mm diaphragm. Now, I'm using the Corsair Wave 3. That's because I'm sponsored by Corsair, and they make a really nice microphone, but it does cost an additional roughly $90 MSRP than what you're seeing here. And you're not going to be getting over double the voice quality. This is pretty much going to give you 80% of what most microphones can do. After that, you're going to be going into small detail. You're either going to get a deeper voice, or you're going to be getting all these other things that aren't going to affect someone just talking into a microphone. So if you're going to be doing that, something like this is going to serve you really well for 68 bucks. Then if you want to get a cheap pair of headphones, these are the most renowned headphones in the market for value for money. 29 bucks. I've got a set of these around my studio here. They're called the KPH 30Is from Koss. Absolutely phenomenal value for money, phenomenal sound quality. They're lightweight. If you want to go out and do a workout outside, get some good audio, these will do the job. And they've also got a built-in mic, so if you don't want to be sitting in a static position playing games, if you're moving around a bit, you can just use these to game with your friends, and they're still going to be able to hear you absolutely fine. So now we've essentially just covered the most two important things to getting any recording done, and that is video quality and audio quality. They do say audio quality is slightly more important than video quality, but I'd say they both matter in the grand scheme of things. So you can get really good audio and really good picture quality for literally under 500 bucks in 2020. So the next piece of the puzzle you're going to need to connect your camera to your computer is what's called a video capture input. So basically, a lot of the time, say for instance a graphics card, that's going to be outputting a VGA signal. And this is going to essentially input one into your computer. This is a budget one for 25 bucks. Me personally, I'm using the Elgato Camlink 4K. It's 120 bucks, so it is a little bit more expensive, but it will give you better video quality. Next up in the pipeline is your motherboard. I don't know why this is in Japanese, and the weirdest thing is I can actually read this too. It's like Uru Tora USB Dangen. That means ultra USB power. So this one is the B450 Steel Legend. And of course, there's another one that I do like, and that is the B450 Aorus Elite. Now, I'm looking at these two motherboards because they represent good value for money. If you want to get into streaming or recording, go grab yourself one of these, a Ryzen 5 3600, and you got yourself really good performance for gaming, but also for recording videos and even streaming. And so I'm going to talk about these two motherboards. It's important. Instead of, like, I usually here at the channel recommend going with a really cheap motherboard if you're just gaming. But if you're streaming, there's a reason why you want to spend a little bit more on your motherboard, and that's so you can get strong USB ports. And this is most likely because you're going to be running things like your Camlink, a USB microphone, even a USB headset, and then you've got your mouse keyboard. It might have RGB LEDs on it, even a stream deck if you want to spend a bit more on streaming. I'm just going to quickly take my USB headset off to make sure that these USB ports aren't overloaded. And now we're going on to the next best thing you can do to get really good picture quality. This is something that's really underrated, and that is lighting. You have to have good lighting. You generally want a light coming off one angle of your face, and then you want a light over in sort of at the other sort of degree hitting the back of your head, aka a hair light. So you'll generally want two lights on your face or your subject or whatever you're filming. If you're filming a product or a pair of headphones, you generally want two lights. And then in the background there, we've just got what's called a placement light, or a bit of a decoration for the set. And of course, we got the computer in the background. That's got some RGB through the roof, and that's really sort of not just lighting up the scene, giving it a bit of spice, but getting lighting, it doesn't cost that much. You can get these soft boxes. I use 3 of them in my studio, and I've used them for years. They're absolutely fine, and they only set you back around 49 bucks. If you're in Australia, you can get 2 of them for 104 Aussie, which would be around 75 US dollars or something like that. So you can get lighting for very cheap, but it's very important to have if you're filming at night, or even if you're filming in the day and you don't have sunlight coming in at all angles to wherever you're filming. Now, of course, that being said, if you are on a strict budget and you can't afford lighting, just make good use of sunlight. It's technically, in my opinion, some of the best filming and best photos can be done in the sun. Though if you are out in the sun all day, do be careful. I don't want you getting burnt, because I want you to keep watching my videos. And we're on to the last bit, and this is monitors, right? If you're streaming or you're gaming, you can get away with having your secondary monitor and third monitor as a real cheap monitor. A lot of the times, like, this was a true story that I had came around here. Someone came around, they wanted to get a 240 Hertz monitor, and I said, yeah, 240 Hertz is great. Fluid, really great gaming experience. But then they said, I want to get 3 240 Hertz monitors to stream. And I said, well, are you going to use NVIDIA Surround or something like that? That's where you've got all 3 monitors putting out your game. And he said, no, I'm going to stream. And I said, what? Is you going to game on one and then have all your other stuff on the other 2 monitors? He said, yes. And I said, you do not need 3 240 Hertz monitors. Your stream does not need to be monitored in 240 Hertz. So you can save a lot of money, and I'll show you guys right here. You can save a lot of money by picking up some cheap 17-inch monitors for around 20 bucks. You just get 2 of these, one to the left, one to the right. That is my preferred setup if I'm streaming. One to monitor my OBS Streamlabs recording software, the other to use my main game or my main subject of the video, and then another monitor spare to do whatever, whether I'm talking to someone on Skype or something like that. I've got that monitor as a spare for backup. And so even if you're in Australia, you can pick these up for 15 Aussie dollars on your local site. This is a site called Gumtree. I love this site, and this one here is 15 Aussie dollars. That's like about 10 US dollars, and you can get a VGA to HDMI adapter with that. So that's going to save you a lot of money. You find 2 of these, that's 20 bucks, and you got your 2 secondary monitors done. Then you can go onto Amazon, buy your fancy 144 Hertz monitor or your 240 Hertz monitor, and you can be having fun on a budget. And now here we are at today's video at the finish line. And all I'm going to say is, especially if you're streaming, this one's really important. Go into your streaming software, go into your output, and just make sure your encoder is selected to your graphics card. I've got a 5700 XT in my system at the moment. And you can see here, I'm using the hardware. That's the AMD GPU to basically do all the hard work when it comes to recording this video. So that's how easy it is. Instead of getting a really new beauty $1,000 CPU, you don't need to do that. You don't need to go out and buy a 3950X to stream Minecraft or stream World of Warcraft or stream even Call of Duty Warzone. You can get away with the Ryzen 5 3600, but basically just use the graphics card's dedicated encoder to do all the hard work and take that off your CPU, and you'll be having happy days. You'll be having a really smooth stream. You'll be getting still really good video quality. I mean, I'm recording off the AMD GPU encoder, which is inferior than the NVIDIA encoder with the RTX encoder especially. And you guys, I mean, I don't know, I'd love to see someone complain about the video quality in today's video. I think it's absolutely fine. I've watched it back, I'm like, damn, it looks really nice. And bellissimo voila. I don't even know what that means. I think I heard it somewhere, so I think it's Italian. If it is, let me know in the comments. I think I butchered it. But in today's video, I wanted to show you guys that you can go out and build what computer you want. You can go out and get a GTX 1660 Super or a RX 5600 XT and a Ryzen 5 3600 or an i5 10400, and they're going to be great choices if you're looking for good value for money on the new market. But some of these things that I'm showing you here is just in turn, if you want to get a streaming setup that looks really good, you can save money throughout the whole process and still get something that looks just like someone who's spent 3 times as much on their setup. And in order to do that, it's really not that hard at all. You get on this gear, and if you are serious about filming, then you'll start to learn on your own all the nooks and crannies and things that you like and things that you don't like with your current gear. Because believe me, the stuff that I've recommended you here today, you are going to be able to get some really good picture and voice quality out there for whoever wants to watch your videos. And now we got the question of the day, which comes from George's Rap, and they ask, is an R5, that's a Ryzen 5, 1600 AF combined with the GTX 1660 Super a great choice? If you want, recommend something else. That's an absolutely fine combo. At the moment, DDR4 memory is actually, as I did a video on this, I'll put the link up here, it's actually cheaper on the new market than DDR3. So Ryzen 5 1600 AF, if you can pick it up for that $85 price tag, and with the GTX 1660 Super, that's a really good combo. So there's no real need to recommend something else. I mean, I do like the X99 Xeon combo off AliExpress, but in the current climate, depends where you live, you may be waiting a couple of months for that to rock up to your door. But other than that, since I did recommend jumping on Craigslist and local sites like Gumtree, I would recommend, if you don't mind, looking at the used market as well for some used bargains on older CPUs, even Ryzen 1st gen stuff. And if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to hit that like button. And if you've stayed this far too, and you want to keep watching the tech videos the moment they're released, hit that sub button and ring that bell. And also, of course, if you're a hater, don't forget to hit that dislike button for us. And I'll catch you in another tech video very soon. Peace out for now. Bye. I have the power.